And we're back
Welcome back, everyone.
to another installment of Legend of Zelda: The Skyward Sword.
For the Nintendo Wii.
Nintendo Wii! And we're back in this dungeon of dungeon
Yes, the
goodness.
dungeon of dungeon. Remember that dungeon that, he was dungeoning, but, kind of forgot what he was trying to do? Do you remember anything from last time you were dungeoning?
You know?
Probably not.
I don't.
Yeah, you don't.
So we're just gonna wing it like we always do. Yay for
great.
winging it.
It just doesn't stop. Every time.
Sorry, I can't remember things.
You know what? It's okay.
Sometimes I wake up in the morning and I forget that I'm alive.
It's okay. I am well prepared for this.
Are you?
Why? Because I got my trusty little buddy over here with the letter capital M.
Well, ooh, it's iced tea flavored.
Yes.
The monster.
Yeah. That's what it is. No. We don't do product placements.
Okay.
What do we just talk about?
It's the monster. Not monster.
Yeah, they Masta. Nobody heard about that.
You stop defying my sword attacks.
Sword attacks.
Yeah, stop defying them.
He was just trying to live.
Is that what he called it?
Yes.
Okay, so let's see. Where were we? I remember.
You
Little.
were
Oh.
basically. You remember that little puzzle
Oh
we
yeah,
were
the
reading?
switches.
Yes. So do you remember what the puzzle
Groovy.
said?
Something about high, low,
Oh,
and would you
well,
look at this?
And you just kind of found it. I guess that would be the low.
Yay!
All right. Look at you, just randomly finding things.
I'm amazing.
Maybe the planets are aligned and you're going to be the best.
See, I
Guide.
can't dive. I want this rupee, but I can't dive. Something tells me I'm going to get I don't
Iron
know,
boots.
Iron boots. I
And
don't
just
know.
sink to the bottom.
I didn't even see what did that thing do? Did it open a door? I'm
Right.
pretty sure it opened a door.
Because that's how you swim.
You just tape cement boots to cement bricks to your boots.
That is not how that goes.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
I think so. In Link's World it does.
Mm-hmm.
And when you want to stop swimming, you take them off and you magically float to the top.
Mm-hmm.
You're not gonna grab that ledge, Link?
Eventually you will get it. Me and PT were kind of talking about something earlier on. What were we talking about? It was
Talking about shows.
yeah, shows, right? Like he was watching. What was the last thing a long anime you watched? Naruto, right?
Naruto, yeah.
And you stopped at what was the episode? The regular Naruto.
Yeah, not Shippuden, not any of that other stuff, just
Yeah.
Naruto.
I mean, Shippuden is better, but
I don't know about all that.
All right.
I guess. I can't say only because I gave up watching at episode 63.
63.
Yeah, 63.
I mean, why 63?
They broke my heart when Rock Lee lost.
Rock Lee?
Rock Lee, when he lost to Gara.
But he's just Rock Lee,
He's freaking amazing. Are you kidding me? He's like Goku incarnate.
But Gara would be like Akuma, I guess.
What? Akuma?
Yeah, he had that little, death symbol
demon
on his
thing?
forehead, but it's not really death. It
Man,
meant
he carries
it
sand
meant
in
love.
he carries sand in a gourd, and his backstory just annoyed me. He's always crying, and
But that's what kids do. They cry when they're upset.
yeah, but you're an assassin. You're a ninja assassin. What are you crying about?
I'm pretty sure that Rock Lee was crying in almost every scene that he was in.
Yeah, but it just no. I did not like it. I did not like it one bit. And
A lot of heroes do tend to, well, in animes they lose. That's a thing.
it is, but no, just no. It just seemed it just seemed broken to me.
Broken? Okay. If it was broken, what part of it would be broken?
All right. Well, let's look at Rock Lee.
Sure.
Rock Lee, in my eyes, was a beast in that show. He was a freaking beast. He's the closest thing to like a Goku character you will ever find. Stupid fast, stupid strong.
Because he was a brawler.
He was a brawler. Yeah, he
Sure.
didn't use any.
Generally, he's the closest person to like you said, to a Goku.
A Goku without the the Kamehamehas and all that stuff.
I mean, one of his skills is just, Kaioken. I guess you could call him Goku in the early days.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Okay.
So it's like, all right, how do you lose to that? Like, it just everything about it just seemed wrong. And where the hell am I going?
Oh boy. I said multitask, my
Multitask, I cannot do.
Multitask.
No, but he it's just one of those things no. He put the beating on Gara, the beating of a lifetime on him.
So look, I mean, Gara did take damage, you know.
We took damage? Like, come on. No.
What was encased around his body? It was a sand shield, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so he was able to penetrate through that when he went, I guess, Kaioken times 5 or 10, or in Rock Lee's case, maybe 20. Who knows?
I don't know. I thought it was silly.
He got him out of a moment of weakness, if you would. You know, got his legs, right? Bam, done.
Well, all right. You know, it came to the point where I said to myself, if he can lose to Gara,
sure,
what won't the producers of this anime do? What won't they do? You know, it's just like, how... I mean...
But you know the show is called Naruto, not Rock Lee.
I understand that.
Okay.
And I failed. Jeez, I should have kept swinging. I can't multitask. But, I get that. It makes sense.
Sure.
Alright, it's not about Rock Lee. But then when you have such a character pop out of nowhere, and you make him so omnipotent, and you make him so beastly, and then you turn it around and make him lose, it's just like... What won't you do?
Okay.
Damn it!
Pendulum effect, remember?
It kind of throws everything askew. It's like, all right, so how far are you going to push the envelope with this story?
Okay.
And that's one of the reasons I don't really watch anime over 20-something episodes. 24, 40 max. Naruto was the first anime in a very long time that I watched that had that many episodes.
Really?
And I stopped after that because it's just like, you know, how much of this nonsense are you going to feed me? You know, and it continued. And I remember one time, my friend, you know, a long-time old friend of mine, I went to his house, and he's like, yo, you gotta watch Naruto again, it's getting so good. And I'm like, all right, fine, I'll watch it. Sat me down, it was episode 100 and something. Mind you, I hadn't watched it in like, God knows how long. 100 and something is, you know, I'm missing a big gap. He's like, no, don't worry, you're not. You know, I failed.
Just keep it straight. That's it. Don't turn it on anything. But yeah.
Jeez. But he's like, you know, watch it. It'll be cool. And I'm like, all right, fine. It was an hour-long episode of, I guess Sasuke got kidnapped or something like that.
Right, and they created that 5-man cell.
Yeah, that 5-man cell to walk through a forest. A forest.
A forest. Mind
you, these are ninjas, secret ninja assassins.
Right.
Who?
They're not your typical ninja. Let's kind of be serious.
All right, well. Up until then, I remember Naruto and his cohorts just, you know, literally flying from tree to tree. That's what they do. You know,
they're tree climbers.
Yeah, and it's dashing around the place. And now you have to walk through a forest. Walk?
Yeah, they explained it like
an hour of it though. An hour. An hour of my life wasted.
But,
like it just. I mean, don't get me wrong. I waste time on the regular.
Right.
I just, you know, that's what we do as people. We waste time.
Sure.
You know, just play games like I'm doing right now, and you know, just bullshit. But no, I couldn't do it.
I mean, I understand.
Get off of me, you bird! Get off! I'm the Hulk, the Juggernaut.
You're not.
I'm not the Juggernaut.
You're not you're not the Juggernaut, and you basically have well, I guess nowadays you have low tolerance for animes that generally, I guess, have that whole filler mentality and stuff like that.
Yep.
And I get that. You know, a lot of people would rather do away with fillers. You know, which would kind of lead to a really short series, which you know maybe people
which
are
is fine.
With.
That's awesome for me.
Here's the thing, you know, when you come, like, okay, I can just hand you the manga and be like, listen, I'll hand you a manga.
I found something.
What'd you get? A dungeon map!
Dungeon map!
Something that could not be useful.
Okay.
You refuse the gift I'm trying to give you, but I hand you the manga, and I would say, like, yo, chances of it having filler is probably less than none. Even in mangas, you see fillers here and there, but you're not going to see it to the extent of a TV show, which is why it's so different, you know, when you see the TV production, because they want to drag that series on. And why do you think they want to drag that series on? For money.
Of course. I get that. I get that. But, for example, you see how we're playing The Legend of Zelda right now?
Sure.
But like this, anything that I see on television, gaming, you know, anything that tells a story, especially a intricate story with plot twists and all sorts of stuff, I view it as art almost. It's artwork, you know? And, for example, could you imagine playing The Legend of Zelda and out of nowhere filler just pops up? We're just like we're just gonna take you and we're gonna have you run around in circles like this for like just an hour. You're gonna be on a treadmill. You're just running around.
Right.
Until we get the story
There
right.
is a point.
Just no.
But you know what? There's a point to say that there's good filler and there's bad filler. There's filler. How do I explain this? Where there's an easy, like it's a cop out. Let's just say like we're trying to prolong the series just because we have no ideas, but we need filler. We need to throw it in somewhere. And you know what? For all the people that do tend to complain about, we hate this filler, blah blah blah. Chances are they'll probably end up watching anyway. That's for sure.
I won't be one of those
yes,
people.
in your case, you won't.
I abandon ship so fast.
Right. That's what I'm saying. You have low tolerance. But I see it all the time in the comment sections here and there. People will be like, this filler is so bad and blah blah blah. But right away, the very next episode, they're there. Ready to complain right on moment's notice.
I'm not one of those people.
I guess they're the hopeful type. They want to say like they're trying to send a message to somebody. It's like, make this filler watchable, please.
You can't send a message to someone who's looking for money. Their message is money. That's their narrative.
All right, I understand it to the point where it's the communication between the original author of the manga versus, the actual TV producers. The TV producers are there simply just to make the money. They'll appreciate the artwork, but they're going to take this piece of manga, and let's just say they have no idea about the series, right? And they're looking at this, and they say to themselves, okay, how can we make money off of this manga? Or they'll just say, okay, we'll give you a 12-episode installment, depending on if it sinks or swims.
And they'll stretch it out to maybe 24.
Right. If it actually swims, and it's like, oh, guess what? For some reason, you have a ferry now. It's a great series. An unsinkable, luxurious ship. This is what Naruto is. It's a ferry that's just kept on pushing. It's so good that we want to milk this series for all it's worth. For the many years and years to come. How they've been approaching it is not the best, but their filler is not terrible. It's not like...
It's bad enough for me.
Okay. I've seen, if you've seen Bleach fillers, that's terrible. That is a clear cop-out for money. If it were up to them, they would have every half-hour block with half fillers and half commercials. That way, less work and more money. Now Bleach is finished, whatever the case is.
So is it done? Like, they've stopped making episodes?
I wouldn't want to say they took a hiatus. Bleach just suffers from a sitcom syndrome. The last season of Bleach preempted the viewers for a big-time change for the entire storyline. The sitcom thing was finally gonna die off, and we were gonna see Ichigo in a new light. A complete fresh start to take an entirely different direction. But no, right back to status quo. I'm just trying to avoid spoilers because we haven't done that already with Naruto. Oops. But always with the status quo. It's a pretty substantial thing.
Don't worry about spoiling it for me. I care.
I know, but maybe somebody else that listening to us, yes.
Probably wants to see it.
They say this is a completely, look at that. Completely different.
Oh, this is my last bullet. Oh, my aim be true. My aim be true. Yes.
Everyone knows that Ichigo is a slayer or whatever the case. Kill monsters.
I don't know that, but go ahead.
He's a soul reaper.
Yeah, I guess he reaps souls.
Yeah, he reaps souls. Spoiler, screw you, because, it says in the synopsis, so whatever, alright? Because you'll most likely find the plot in most animes in the description. He's a teenage high school boy, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But in the last season...
And that's the thing that drives me nuts.
Oh, God.
The whole, the teenage, high school thing, that's something that drives me nuts. I can't watch anime where it's just around
again the original
high school and teenage life, and then then out of nowhere you'll have like a topic that's so crazy that it's like one of those things like, all right, who'd you make the anime for? Did you make it for grown-ups or did you make it for teenagers? Because if it did, then what's with the blood, gore, sex? I don't get it.
First and foremost, back then, animes mostly targeted kids. But since the market grew and the demographic range increased from child all the way to adult, they practically have a show that caters towards damn near every age group and their preferences. Not for nothing though, but kids in Japan could watch a lot of violent shows and not mimic what they say. Though now it's a bit different and censorship is a lot more aggressive, especially when it comes towards kid shows, animes like Fairy Tail. But they still manage to tell a decent story. Not currently though, because fillers. And addressing your school question, I think the reason high school is such a popular setting is because high school is the bridge between child and adult. And that life for the majority of Japanese people was a good time in their life. So having said that, a show like Bleach, the settings was also in high school, but apparently at some point they neglected it entirely now, and now they're a bunch of high school Soul Reaper dropouts. The idea is that the show tries to emulate the person's life, so in that way they can relate to the show and then go off daydreaming. So he and she could be a Soul Reaper too, and then eventually grow up to be a manga artist selling millions of smash hits.
I guess. I mean, I don't know, anime is a funny thing. I used to watch a lot of it way back when, and not so much now. It takes a really, really, really good series for me to go, okay, I'm gonna sit down and watch this. And I mean, let's see, the last great animes I think I've seen, Code Geass is definitely one of them.
Okay, but then that's not your typical. I mean, okay, wait, hold up. It did follow the school settings.
It took a very big backseat.
Right.
A huge backseat. To the point where you've seen it, but you just kind of was like, well, okay, you know.
They're always pro-youth. The reason why they want youth, because youth is the one that makes mistakes, as opposed to the adults. They're faced with all these types of options.
Are you kidding me? I'm adult and I make tons of mistakes.
Right, you know, which is hilarious.
I'm making mistakes right now.
Exactly. You know, they kind of, you know, they give adults too much credit.
By the fact that I'm lost. Look at this, one big mistake. If you haven't noticed, I've been trying to figure out where the hell I'm going and I don't know.
Wait, you hit the gem, right?
Yeah, I hit the gem and I read the stone about you know, hitting the stone and the stone and the stuff and the stuff and the stone.
You kind of need hearts too. Yeah, adults make, you know,
I need a lot of stuff. I need hearts and I need bullets for this slingshot.
You hit one of the...
Yeah, but I'm all out of bullets for the slingshot. I'm all out of Deku Nuts.
Well, I mean, you hit all the things you needed to hit anyway, no?
Have I? I don't know that. That's why I probably need some more. I definitely need hearts.
Yeah, you do need to get that.
I could leave and get some.
You could.
I could do that.
Yeah, I was saying, like, adults definitely do make a lot of mistakes, but they'd rather just tell it in the form of a youth size because they're more passionate and they're more...
Well, for example, there's an anime that I watched a long time ago that I made you watch. Rome watched it. Another friend of mine watched it. Everyone that I told to watch it didn't like it but me. And I wonder if it's just me.
Different opinions.
12 Kingdoms.
Right.
Awesome anime.
Okay.
And it was on the longer side, 40-something episodes.
Yeah.
I thought it was great. Like, I loved it. It was a great anime. Had good story. Had a good storyline. Good character development. And it was good, you know, it was just all around good anime.
Yeah.
And it had nothing to, well, it did have something to do. They were high schoolers when it started. Oh yeah, fillers, like, you know, not fillers, spoilers.
Yeah. Guess what? They're high schools. I think you're going to exit, by the way.
Yeah, I need to go get more Deku Nuts.
Oh, you're going to get Deku Nuts. Yeah, that's some Deku Nuts, but
they started out as high schoolers, and, you know, this whole school thing faded away in like 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Like, just poof, gone.
Yeah.
And, I wonder if I can, you know what? No, let's look around here before I go do that.
Yeah, just get a little bit.
Little choppage, little tree cutting. No, grass.
There you go. At least you got some hearts. I told you at that time when I watched it, I said that the orders of those episodes were told in the wrong order. Because just based on how it was set up, you know? And I felt like their arrangement of how they told the story was a little bit out of order, you know? And I would feel... Like I told you around in I think the 20th episode mark. It's been so long, but maybe it was in between the 20th all the way to the 30th episode, but I was telling you that they should have brought those set of episodes all the way to the beginning. You know, and
to lead to like a good build-up.
Right.
It starts off at like the pinnacle and then tells the story back to the pinnacle.
I get it. They chose the way they wanted to tell the story they wanted. Originally, how it started was a lot, actually. You don't know what the heck was going on. Things were happening at an accelerated rate, and you had to you tried your best to make sense out of everything that was happening in anime. And there was a lot of nonsensical things happening in that anime. I want to have at least some form of understanding instead of being lost, because if you're lost, chances are interest factor tends to dip.
Well, I mean, it's a good loss and a bad loss.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if it's like, okay, it's lost where you want to know more, right? For me, it's like, okay, now the thing is, the character started with I guess, a girl that just really didn't bleed too much charisma to begin with.
And then she became very strong character. Very strong character.
Right. But for a lot of people, they typically don't have enough patience to follow that character all the way through. And this is what animes tend to template for a lot of their animes nowadays, is that they like to showcase their first episode very strong, because they know that if we're trying to get a fan, you know, a fan base going on,
you gotta come out of the gate strong.
right? You know, this is like almost as if, you know, a trailer to a movie, if you will. You know, like, why would you want to keep on watching if your first episode is, if this is what's going to be for the very first episode, why would I want to watch the rest? So 12 Kingdoms in that way was very slow. You know, you can't just say, okay, I'm going to watch the first episode and say, you know what, I'm hooked. It's split. You know, it's going to vary from person to person. So for me, like, you know, PT is going to like it, whereas me is like, you know what, I basically continued based on your recommendation. You know, if I had watched it on my own, just found it, I probably wouldn't have continued. Honestly.
You're crazy. Anime was awesome.
Things were happening. I'm like, you know, this flash for effect. You know what I mean? It's just like unnecessary.
Where am I going? I'm lost. I'm lost.
Yeah, you're lost.
I'm very lost. Well, that kind of works out, me being lost and all.
Don't worry, we'll find our way later on.
And probably the next episode.
Yeah, we will. Later, y'all.
Later, y'all.